Like I was talking about the Karens, it's just strange but true that the word scum repeatedly comes to mind. The word scum, alongside racketeering and contract, it needs to be kept to the front of your thought processes. The word scum is assigned to the lowest form of human entity. When an entity sinks to such low, where they can be granted neither respect nor regard for who or what they are and what they have become, dehumanized, and the corrupt gatekeepers, then the word scum shall apply. So should say any human being with the slightest bit of moral compass, intellectual competence, and the capability to process thought. Why have the terms racketeering and breach of contract not been applied to the members of the law fraternity and the politicians? I have absolutely no idea. The joy of being from the South and being proud has been a story of legends. But the darkness and evil that remained hidden for 3 centuries and more has been bubbling for a long, long time. And the froth and the stench, they have begun to surface. No one, and I repeat, no one dared stand up to corruption or the element as it is called within the Georgia executive, the judiciary, the Supreme Court. The Constitution has always been there, legislation has always been there. So has Dr. King. But why 1960s? The Constitution was written in 1787. So why were people still marching and complaining when this is the country of laws, the world policeman, and above all South, where they claim good people live? So when I asked a person who divulged that, oh, he met a good person, he was just having a dream. In real life, no. So back to the Karens. I will name 2 people. I just posted a comment on a website which invites people to come forward as a community and share what may affect the community. So I asked the question, why is Georgia so corrupt? Instead of anybody giving me a decent answer, despite me stating that I've had experience and I have absolute proof, I do not have time to talk about anything and everything that was said. But the most important thing that was said repeatedly, and a woman, it's been a long time since I called a woman a lady. I had no cause. And they've given me no cause. So this woman, Jer Howard, the first thing came to mind was, surely this cannot be an educated person. So curiosity took charge, and up came a picture of a white woman, probably in her 60s, a grandmother, maybe a great-grandmother, who knows, posting a comment saying, Sohail needs to move state. And all that went through my head was, that's what you people did when somebody challenged you. You lynched them. You lynched them without fear of being held accountable by law, but as a white entity, you felt and you saw and you experienced that as long as the victim was non-white, you could get away with it. So, get rid of the problem or the perceived problem. And then there is another woman who calls herself a true Christian. She actually started an organization, South Metro Mental Health Professionals, whatever it is. And again, this time, the wonderful message was passed on to me by a veteran, by a mental health professional, by a person who shall claim or who claim themselves to be true patriots, will hold them in the highest regard, who stated to me that this woman referred to me as, who the hell does he think he is? We all know the exam is flawed. She was referring to the exam for professional counselors, which is dispensed by the National Board for Certified Counselors. They're based in North Carolina. The most incompetent, the most ignorant, the most unprofessional examining body I have come across, and I have practiced on 4 continents. Each and every time when a professional authority is informed of a flaw within their system or something that has occurred, straight away they put their finger on it and say, okay, show me where it is. Not NBCC. Their professional exam is nothing but poop, the one that was dispensed to me. I pointed out to them the flaws in their questions and their answers. How do they not know what the true answer is? Because you keep stating that all professionals shall be held to the highest ethical standards. So which ethical standards do they follow? Anyway, let's get back to this woman. Miss Peggy McBrayers allegedly stated, who the hell does he think he is? We all know the exam is flawed. This was in reference to the professional, national, well, whatever it is, NCMHCE, National Mental Health Counselors Exam. It is conducted across 50 states by the National Board for Certified Counselors at present. It beggars belief that 50 states did nobody ever check if this organization is creditworthy. You apply for a credit card, they check your creditworthiness. You apply for anything, store credit, they check your creditworthiness. This organization, under no circumstances, from my experience, can be granted credit worthiness. So let's go back to racketeering. Surely there has to be an element of cohesive approach amongst the incompetent and the corrupt, where they all stand by each other, they support each other. And then they try to ensure that somebody like me, they can do the George Floyd on him. He disappears. So said J.R. Howard, so said Peggy McBrayers. So this is what good Christians of the South historically did, and in my case still do. Nothing to offer in support but indifference and condemnation. Miss Peggy McBrayers, please rise and take a bow. As founder of South Metro Mental Health Professionals Organization, Licensed Professional Counselors Association directors and else have not been far behind, and in their hands we have placed the welfare of ourselves and our children. Hence there is one question that repeatedly raises its ugly head. Why was this not done before? I'm referring to why in God's name I am the first one to keep going around posing challenges for the first time in law and in authority, running down the corridors of power, chasing rats. That's what I'm going to call them. Rats. They're no better. All they do is spread disease of unhappiness, incompetence, and prove themselves to be wholly untrustworthy. So before somebody refers to the Karens as inverted commas white women, I have had the displeasure of black women in authority who have displayed the same attitude, same behavior, same stupidity, same incompetence. Arise with honor, Judge Azha F. Jackson of DeKalb Superior Court. Hey, she even got elected as the Chief Judge. And Judge Kimberly Adams. Dear God, I will refer to these people individually as to what they said, what they practiced, and what they did. This woman does not know which law is being practiced in this country. And when trying to differentiate between constitutional law and common law, talk about making an ass of herself. I say that with due respect and regard to an ass who actually performs worthwhile duties in their daily lives. So, let the Karens rest. You're getting the gist of it. Racketeering, it amounts to a group of people, a group of gathering of entities that work towards the same cause, the same action, to perform unlawfully, to perform what their office, what their oath, what their legal processes say is wrong. But that's what racketeering is, a gathering of criminals. Who am I referring to? The Georgia executive, the judiciary, and its officials. And yes, I can prove it. I can prove each and every word of what I state. This includes the officials of the state, like the licensing board, its executive chairman, like the Honorable Briggs Zimmerman with a BA, and probably a PhD in stupidity, corruption, and God knows what else. I simply do not have one thing decent to say about this person, because he is the furthest thing from someone who can be given any managerial position, never mind the executive director of professional licensing boards. The fun thing is, all these people, I have walked to them, I have faced them. Isn't it time entities like the Georgia Bureau of Investigation or the gubernatorial office or the Department of Justice, they appoint a committee to investigate what I've been saying, because the allegations I make, a fraction of them in any civilized country in Europe, governments have been brought down. Here it appears it's a badge of honor, or not, when it does not suit, like the Georgia tax commissioner who's in prison now. He was elected as a tax commissioner, as they all are. He's in prison because he committed tax fraud. When you watch Simpsons, there's a poor Indian guy busting his chops running the corner store, Apu. General store, Apu. Joke, Apu. But when you're in the South and you happen to be, let's say, Brian Kemp, oh yes, his family, they owned a general store. So if Apu happens to be white, he or she qualifies to occupy the highest office in land, or the second highest. So Secretary of State, he left a trail of garbage behind him. Hence, mental health services, the state departments are being sued now by families in the federal court, in the federal district court. These precedents are being set, at least they'll get a hearing. Mine was buried. I even prayed to the US Supreme Court to say, look at the amount of filth. Can you make a ruling that the ruling you made, it has not been enacted in the state of Georgia, which is unlawful? You made the ruling. You ensure that remedy is on offer. Repeatedly, I've been told by former attorneys general over the past 20 years or more, this state will never ever let you get a hearing. Never. Get on with your life. That's the best legal advice I got. Get on with your life. They will bury you. They will never ever let you get a hearing. How much support did I get from the US Supreme Court? The level of incompetence is beyond belief. The pleadings were sent back to me twice for no cause, for no reason, where I had erred. Oh, we're sorry, we made a mistake. It cost me. I haven't done a dime in 10 years. It cost me. All legal processes, they cost me. My legal rights have been defecated upon. And yet every time I knock on a door, it costs me money which I don't have, which I haven't earned.